embedded in the religion of Islam. This is the show that brings people from the depth of degradation and darkness to the pinnacle of success and civilization. Today, we've got a very, very fascinating topic for you. It is early marriage. And of course, you may have been wondering on how to provide solutions to some of the problems we have in the world today. Like, how do I provide solutions to the everyday, all-day killing of young people in terms of abortion, to the problems of adultery and fornications in the society? You don't need to have a PhD studying human relation and all that. Islam has given us a solution, and it is early marriage in Islam. We've got fabulous and interesting young people in the house to elucidate this topic without ambiguity. I have from my left-hand side, and from my right,
Bushra Lagunjo, Bilkis Adile.
And I remain Yusuf Jima Aweda. I think it is important for us to start with what marriage is. What is marriage in Islam?
Of course, marriage in Islam is all about the union between the two opposite sexes, as the male and the female.
Okay.
And this can be traced to the time of Adam alayhi salam, when Allah created Adam.
Okay.
Allah said in Surah An-Nisa, Quran 4 verse 1, that Ya ayyuhallazina amanu taqu rabbakum allazi khalaqakum min nafsin wahida wa khalaqa minha zawjaha bassa minhuma rijalan wa kasiran nisa. We are going to examine the fact that Allah says that, all you who believe, obey the commandment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, who has created you from one soul.
Okay.
And that's the soul of Adam. Allah now created Eve from Adam, and from which procreation goes on. He created male, female, man, woman, and that's how procreation goes. So the basic aim of marriage is for procreation.
Of course, from your assertion, we know pretty well that marriage is from Allah Azza wa Jalla, and of course, it is the culture of all the prophets of Allah. Inshallah, that's quite interesting. But why do we get married? Have you thought of that? Why can't I just live my life like a superstar and enjoy it? Yeah. We have to get married for a reason. Why do we do that?
Exactly. We need to get married because, one, it is the injunction from Allah.
Okay.
And it is in the Quran that we should get married. So marriage is compulsory on every Muslim male and female. You can't say that I don't want to get married. I want to practice celibacy. It's not part of Islam.
It's not part of it.
And so, aside from the fact that you need to worship Allah, which is number one importance, it's also meant for procreation. Because the Prophet encouraged us to procreate. He wants to be proud of his ummah.
Exactly, to increase in number.
Yes, on the day of resurrection, he's going to say that, yes, my ummah, they are so successful and they are so much in piety and consistency. And we also get married in order for us to protect our spiritual lives.
Exactly. With
regards to all these sins of fornication, adultery. When you get married, you become faithful.
Exactly.
And you are facing a woman at a time.
Exactly.
And then you also know that you are focused, you are responsible. You are responsible for your family. You are responsible for your wife or your wives. You are also responsible for your children. Your extended families are also there for you to show forms of responsibility.
I think another reason why we get married in Islam is because of the commandment of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in the Quran that La taqrabu zina innahu kana fahishatan wa sa'a sabila. Oh, you believe, don't move near zina. So if you really don't want to move near zina, that means we need to engage in marriage. So if you don't engage in marriage, you definitely engage yourself in zina.
You
just have to attach yourself to one or the other, either marriage or zina.
You know, the Prophet was described as the walking Quran. That means that he is the practical aspect of whatever it is that is in the Quran. And the Prophet has made us to understand that getting married is half of your faith. And aside that, Prophet said that an ideal wife is the best comfort for a man, because that is the temporary enjoyment that you have. So when you get married, you have a peace of mind. It makes you, like she said, it makes you feel responsible, and you know that there are certain things that you need to carry out.
I think at this point now,
I think I would like to draw attention to one thing. And that's the fact that there was a particular hadith of Ibrahim Sassan that says that when you get married, you fulfill 1/3 of your religion, Islam. So there was this scholar that was like making jest of those who are not married. He said that he who is at home sitting on the chair with the wife is better than a bachelor
fasting and
just engage himself in fasting.
Yes, that was when somebody was saying that if you serve a woman a juice, probably somewhere around your community or in the mosque or in school or somewhere, it's far different from when you are serving your wife. So why not get married so that you get your
talking more on the spiritual benefits of marriage. I read an hadith, very, very captivating hadith, that when you get married, that the shaitan will go to somewhere and start, feeling bad. Shaitan will be held in a mood of a deep melancholy. This man has perfected half of his religion. But, he always feel bad because we have done that. I think it's a very good thing for us to do. But let us not beam our intellectual light on the content of discussion that why do you have to get married early? Because I think it's very, very important. Medically, we get to some stages in life that you begin to have a change in your anatomy, the way you reason. You begin to have feelings for opposite sex. And sometimes these things create psychological and mental, pressure. And, if you're not disciplined, if you're not, a good Muslim, you may begin to do some nasty things that could take you out of the pale of Islam. So I think marriage is a very perfect tool for us to cope such nasty habits.
I think it's better I put it like this. Okay. When do we marry?
Oh, fantastic.
When do you marry?
As individuals, be you male or female, yes, you have stages in life. And the stage of puberty is that stage that will lead us to this topic of discussion.
Oh, fantastic.
When a female or a male start developing secondary sexual characteristics, they'll tell you the man starts bedwetting.
Yes.
The woman, she just woke up someday and she saw water on the bed and all that. From that period onwards, the individuals start having some sexual arousal. And then if you want to say that, I want to ignore this thing.
It could be dangerous.
It could be very, very dangerous. I even have people that go to the hospital to complain of lower abdominal pain, either a brother or a sister, only the name of, okay, when I wake up in the morning, I saw something wet on the bed, and then I started having abdominal pain, different complaints surrounding that period. So it's from that period we now start considering when exactly should that person get married into marriage in order to be able to protect
the chastity and all
exactly.
In fact, it's about the kids. Allah has actually blessed this ummah of ours with
Alhamdulillah.
But most of the time, it's a blessing to this universe. Because there's this hadith in Bukhari, when Muhammad was explaining the due time for marriage, he said that Ya ma'shar al-shabab, that all youths, that marry when you are matured. Marry when you are matured. If you cannot marry, then engage yourself in fasting. You have to avoid you committing sin.
So the emphasis is even on maturity, not on a particular
age. So the moment you are mature, you should go and marry. But if you cannot marry, and that's probably because of the doctor's or the doctor's description of level of my maturity,
or having the wherewithal,
of course, to sustain the marriage. Yes, when someone said that, then engage yourself in fasting to avoid you committing sins.
Logically, I think it is very, very good for us to follow the sayings of Prophet, because if you want to prescribe a formula for yourself, you're having a sexual urge, all those things of natural as human being, and you don't want to get married, you want to take some silly ways, it could be very, very dangerous. Sometimes you look at the level of abortion in the world today, and you take a backseat and think about following the prescriptions of Allah and following the sayings of Prophet, peace upon that. Imagine if every young person who has this sexual feeling at their early age and they get married, would you like to analyze how low level of people with HIV would look like? You would like to, abortion will reduce, and nasty act like fornications. People don't know that all those things, they instigate Allah's anger. Fornications. There's no nation in the world that this is encouraged, that
because during the time of Prophet Muhammad, it was the parents that do cater for all these things.
Exactly.
When they observe that their children is moving towards age of this maturity stage, they work towards getting the child husband or wife.
The problem is with the mentality, because not all parents have the notion that my child can get married as soon as he or she is matured enough.
In fact, some even keeping the child so that they will be able to get a huge mark from the husband's side.
Our parents should also know that it is not until you have a PhD as a man before they see you as being ready or being set for marriage. No. They should not see it as you must have a master's degree, please, before you get married. No. And they should not also see the female as you must be addressed as Dr. Miss on the day of your nikah.
Okay.
It doesn't have to get to that. That's the only reason, or part of the reason, why parents usually insist that their child should grow as far as 29, 30, before thinking of bringing a man to the house.
In fact, the Prophet describe women in a particular hadith as being like a tree. A tree, definitely, when we have several fruits on it, the wind will continue to blow, and the loss and the likes of that. You know, the fruit will definitely get ripe.
Exactly.
So Prophet is not telling us that when you get the fruit, immediately the thing is getting ripe. So are you able to
very fresh.
Get it, you know, get all the nutrition in the fruits and the likes of that before the wind start blowing the fruits and the fruit falls down.
Exactly.
The interpretation of that is the fact that when our children are matured, our female daughters, let us engage them in marriage, and before they get ripe and engage themselves in corrupt things.
That reminds me of something else, the medical benefit of getting married early. And of course, Tablighi's, I know you're an expert in that, you want to share that with us. For females, what's the benefit and the disadvantages?
Recently, I read something and it was very fascinating.
Wow.
There was, they published a paper on menopause.
Okay.
And then they found out that in Zaria now,
in Zaria.
Yes, the teaching hospital in Zaria, they found out that females now get to that menopausal stage as early as 35.
Allah.
35 years. It used to be 60, 55, 50. Even at 50, some will still tell you that they are menstruating. But now at 35. And that the first person that was diagnosed of that, I mean the first lady that he observed is already in a menopausal stage. She has had like 5 kids. Probably because she's in the north. But if it's somewhere like southwest, where at 32, she's still considering, okay, how many certificates do I have now? How many professional certificates do I have? And the parents are also asking her that, okay, now, how many seminars have you attended abroad? Why do you want to come and tell me you want to get married at 32?
Okay.
So, with that, it is obvious that women should get married, or ladies should get married as soon as they are matured. As soon as, if a mother is well enough to groom a female child, at 18, 19, 20, you see some ladies, they are so matured. They can handle homes, they can cater for a family, they are so responsible.
I think it's also necessary to reiterate the fact that so many youths attach getting married early to they attach disrupting their plans in life. They tell you, once I get married now, I won't be able to do this, I won't be able to do that.
Move around.
As Muslims, we should even see marriage as a means to success.
Exactly.
If you remember, there was a time during the time of the Prophet when a companion of the Prophet went to meet him and told him that, Ya Rasulullah, this is what I'm going through. I don't have the means to purchase this. I cannot afford this for my family. The Prophet ﷺ advised him to go and get married. And then he got married to the first wife. He still came back to the Prophet and said, things are not getting better. The Prophet told him, go and get married to another one. And then, the man felt, Ya Rasulullah, this, go and get married. And then it was the 4th wife that he got married to. They now taught to the other wives, trades that now began.
In the skill.
So we should not see it as a factor that would hinder our success.
As a burden, exactly. Allah tells us that when you have the sincerity of getting married, He would help you. The financial support, He will give it to you. The barakah will be there, and a lot of testimonies to qualify that assertion. So we want to implore you that our parents too should also, assist the young people when they want to get married, because it's going to take away the problem from the community and actually make Allah shower His blessings on us. You can advance with the talk on early marriage with us on our Facebook page, Islam is Beautiful TV show. And we are so glad to have you as an audience today. We want to say big thank you. We want to say big thank you to Mr. Tablighi's for our wondrous contributions this morning. And of course, Sister Bushra, Jazakumullah Khairan. And myself, let me greet myself, Yusuf Jimo, I thank myself. And Brother Sulaiman, we pray that Allah continue to increase us in knowledge. So we want us to have in your mind that as a Muslim, you exude confidence, you exude beauty, you exude tranquility, which is the identity of what we truly represent. We want to tell you, you should always have this in your consciousness, that Islam is indeed beautiful. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.